welcome to 155, a Gobcast about, I don't know, I didn't have a plan for that. I just felt like that'd be a good thing.
A Gobcast is such a good phrase.
That's true. Well, I guess I shouldn't have said about.
Number one Gobcast.
We are the...
Welcome to the Gobcast.
The Gobcast.
155 presents the Gobcast.
It's like another 155 vertical that you know and love. We are becoming the ring. What's that thing called you hate? The Ringer? Is that what you don't like?
I love the Ringer. I think you're talking about the website, the content vertical that I love. So yes.
Okay. Yeah, you love it. Right. I forgot.
I do.
I'm just,
if you could just get things straight a little bit. Anytime we talked about it, I've told you that I love it, and I want you to remember that. And I want everyone listening to remember that. Okay?
This one's truly not even G-Chat. This is just purely an inside joke that only you and I could understand, and that's the way it should be. I think... Because my whole life I've loved inside jokes so much, and I've always wondered, what's it like to hear them and not really get them? And I think it's probably, I would assume, I mean, since I am the protagonist of the universe, I don't really understand the question, because I'm always in on the inside jokes, and I love them. So I don't even know what I'm asking. But do you like them at home, listener? Or if you're not at home, you're at Home Depot?
Who are you talking to?
If you're walking around at Home Depot looking at a 2x4, are you enjoying these inside jokes that we make on here that you don't understand? When I message Sam something and we both do a knowing giggle.
When you walk through the Home Depot?
Well, I've never gone to Home Depot on purpose.
You've never gone to... You've accidentally gone into a Home Depot?
Yeah. I think I went there one time in Langley to try Harvey's, and it was horrible. I hated it. It felt so sick.
You went into a Home Depot to try a Harvey's?
It's the only place in Western Canada they have it. And I was like,
They have a restaurant inside the Home Depot?
Yeah, I think that became Subway eventually. I think
what?
They had a Subway inside. I'm not thinking of Rona, I don't think.
Harvey's inside Home Depot.
We're off to a great start. Now, I wanted to get everyone up to speed.
What the fuck are you talking
If you've never heard the band Gob before, we're going to be talking about Gob all month. I think.
Fuck you. If you haven't heard Gob, we don't even get the fuck out.
But I did.
We're drawing a lot of hard lines this week.
That's true. We are. And also, if you want to know how much Sam loves cops, check out the new exclusive patreon.com/155pod. Yes, we spent an hour talking about Scott Rayner's new career choice. I'm not going to spoil it in case you somehow don't know.
There's a hint in your description that, a concept that I thought we would struggle with at an hour, and I easily could have talked for another 5
Do you want to just keep going? Yeah.
Because you know what? I did have a question that I didn't even get to ask because you had so many other facts and
I did so much research this time. It's crazy how much research
you did. A huge amount of work on this week's. We're not calling them exclusives anymore because it's not exclusive. It's a whole other vertical.
It's an epi.
It's called an epi. That's what they're called. They're paywalled epis.
It's something to do with sewing and epping is what we said, and I don't remember that.
Who knows?
Now that I don't remember the inside joke, I'm angry. So maybe that's what it's like to listen to this.
Oh, so that's good. So you feel as alienated as the listener. My question for you, and this, this conversation continues a little bit behind the paywall in this week's epi.
So if you haven't listened to the epi, then should you hear what Sam's question is? I don't know.
There's not going to be. There's no spoilies, but it's a rhetorical question. Perhaps you can answer. Maybe we can talk about this on the Discord, where I'll engage once a day. Does punk over-index in terms of cops, like genre-wise? Like, are there the same number of like jazz musicians who like post, Matt Skiba style like?
So you, in terms of Blue Lives Matter, Instagram. What's the most Blue Lives Matter genre? I mean, no classism, but it's definitely hillbilly hick-ass country people.
Oh,
probably.
Yeah,
but
okay. You're right. You're right. There's literally no contest there. Yeah, they've really cornered that the blue
market.
So
in case you've never heard Gob, every time we do Gobruary, which has now been twice, but I've spent a lot of my life thinking about Gob. I always forget, and then I come back and I'm like, I think this is
I feel like we've done Gobruary 3 times.
Every time I come back, I'm like, this is my favorite band, I'm pretty sure. It just, when you're listening to Gob, it's probably not my favorite band, but whenever I'm listening, I'm like, this is definitely my favorite band of all time. But it's probably not, but I think it is. You know what I mean?
I totally understand what you're saying. Watching the video for this week's song, I don't want to say it yet, no spoilies. I wondered, not necessarily, I was like, are they
If
my favorite
those
band,
are
but are they
Eppies,
the
then
best
what's-
band?
Oh, that's true. If what was formerly Exclusives are called Eppies, then what are these called now?
Sods.
These are called sods. You need both for the full experience.
Yeah, that's
Oh
right.
my
Otherwise, you're only getting
God.
half the story.
That's crazy. Well, anyways, here's a taste of what Gob sounds like if you never heard them. It's uploaded to YouTube by someone named Seamus.
It definitely sounds like all the bands you and I love the most.
Yeah. I do love this Ernie Ball parody art.
The art is so sick. So the art is like a fake Ernie Ball Strings package that has Spaz and Gob
Really
on it.
sign up for the video tier, which is not I was just
Video
joking.
tier?
No.
The Sods don't have video tier.
Only the Epi has a video tier.
The thickness is 666. It just looks
I'm just goofing around. This is obviously the other Gob, but this is from their split with Spaz, which I think is rather problematic. So I don't know why Seamus is uploading that to YouTube. But anyways, let's check out some punk news.
Some punk news and stranger than fiction.
We're getting a year of monthly new punk news themes from our bud DRMC. And I think they're all references to things. And I think you didn't hear that one. And I was really hoping that I forgot to show it to you so that you might know what it was referencing, because I don't know. But,
Well, I'll just say this. I do know, but I'm not going to tell you.
perfect. That's all I needed to hear. So one of us does, between the two of us, we do know. So that's all we needed to say. To get through that, Sam, I have some devastating punk news. The punk world.
I hate when the punk news is sad.
Well, this is actually for real. This week, a very influential punk figurehead has passed on to the other side this week in the world of punk.
Yeah.
A lot of people looked up to this punk institution, really, as a source of inspiration. They loved the ways that this person combined elements to create a unique punk aesthetic.
I want people to know that as you're doing this vamp, I'm getting the Josiah is typing GChat window, but you have not sent the link yet. So I'm
trying to think. I didn't plan out this this misdirect ahead of time. You know, a lot of people have said that they were. I don't know. I can't do the Tom Verlaine thing. Punk Chef Pizza is closing, unfortunately. It's closing its doors in Moorhead. Punk Chef Pizza and Bar in downtown Moorhead is closing. This is reported by the Inforum website. Inforum Business. It's become too much, is quote, to keep the eatery open, the owner said in a Facebook message. The last day is Saturday, January 28th. So if you're listening to this, Punk Chef Pizza has passed on. And so, unfortunately, it's actually the same day that Tom Verlaine did pass away. So, what an incredible misdirect that was.
It's a
that
tough
I did.
day for punk.
Very disrespectful, both to punk-themed pizzas and to iconic guitarists. But Punk Chef Pizza and Bar. This is written by Helmut Schmidt for Inforum. Great name, Helmut Schmidt. Which has served its slices with a winking nod to the youthful aggression of 1970s punk rock, is closing its doors Saturday, January 28th. The downtown eatery with the motto of "Hey ho, let's dough" made the announcement on its Facebook on Friday, January 27th. So that's kind of one day. You get one day only. It is with a heavy heart that we announce that tomorrow, Saturday, 1/28, will be officially closing our doors. The business's Facebook post said, "We appreciate everyone's support, especially the Moorhead community." After having to close during COVID as ushers and reopen under this new concept and trying our damnedest, it's become too much, the post said. "We'll miss you. Stay punky," is what they said. So I guess they were called ushers beforehand. And then after COVID, they kind of had this sort of nihilistic punk rock outlook on dough. So that's why they switched over to the punky, what is it? Punk chef pizza and bar concept.
Do you think it's ushers? Like, do you think it was usher themed before that?
Yeah,
Like
I was wondering that actually. I was trying to get a good look at the punk chef menu. I mean, I'm sure this is good. Well, maybe if you're like drunk. To me, this looks like
it looks like it's in an industrial plaza.
Do you see this?
Yeah, like it looks like a dentist's office. So this is what every building in Toronto looks like, where there's a condo, but they made the main floor is retail, but no one wants to open up a store because it's the most vibeless facade imaginable.
There is
and so it's just dentist's office. Toronto is just a sea of condos and dentist's office, and this is like someone at least tried to do something else, and so they put the world's ugliest restaurant instead of a dentist.
It does
office.
kind of the logo hilariously almost looks like that artist who did like Combat Wounded Veteran and Adam and His Package art, like that skull. It kind of has that the sink Florida sink 7-inch vibe or whatever. I don't know that artist's name. I can't believe I even remember any of the things I just said. But
I was like, "Who are you? What's happening here?
What's where's Moorhead? No, like, did you see the pizza I just sent you though?
No, I didn't see that story because I was looking up Moorhead, which is across the river from Fargo.
Okay, that explains something.
Fargo, Moorhead.
That does
Fargo. Wow, well, look at this fucking pizza.
So this is January's pizza of the month needs no name because it's a taco pizza. I mean, I think first of all,
what?
That is the name. Second of all, you're a punk themed bar, so that's probably this bad boy is loaded with beef, cheese, Cool Ranch chips, black olives, tomatoes, lettuce. Now this looks like frozen pizza. It looks like they tried to fancy up a frozen pizza. Like they had like a Dr. Oetker's or whatever, but like one of the really dry puck-like ones.
A conservative influencer would share, make nothing like making your own pizza on a Friday night
or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And then just gets roasted for like weeks, and you see it again 2 years later, and you're like, oh, I remember that pizza.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that is ugly fucking food.
I mean, also they're not photographing it well, but this white pizza looks like kind of someone barfed cum. I think basically.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's an interesting fact about Moorhead.
Why is there no punk theme on any of this nasty ass food that they posted? They're like, here's hog wings.
Stay punky.
What? There's nothing punk at all. What's going on?
I assumed that based on the way that this restaurant looks from the outside, I assumed it was like in a complex where people work, and therefore it was exclusively a lunch place. But there is a comment in the article that's like, "Oh, we were just here last night." This is oh my god!
Dude, what the fuck is this last one I just sent you? The rad rib. It's loaded with toppings and clean. This is so fucked up. Oh my god! What is happening over there in Minnesota?
And people are. This is a destination, so this is not like a lunch thing that happens to be near your office. Like people are like, "Oh, it's our favorite place to hang out." People are going here to have a drink.
Dude, they have merch also. I wonder if they did a sale on the merch or what's the deal? This is so funny.
What is that?
Oh my god! Oh my god! It keeps getting worse. Holy shit! Badilla Killa.
What the fuck is that?
Chef Carrie's take on a fried pickle roll. Pickles, Canadian bacon, white sauce. This like honestly looks like it's so wet and so dry at the same time. It looks like somebody puked on top of a dry pita. It looks like someone barfed on a dry pita and then tried to cover it with like chips to cover up the barf. It's so fucked up. This is insane. What were you going to say about Fargo / Moorhead? Because I have something I need to get to in a second.
Well, I mean, it seems like Moorhead, for all intents and purposes, kind of is Fargo.
Every time you start talking.
Oh my god,
this is insane! Holy shit!
So this pizza is called. It looks like what I imagine. Like we all talk about remembering the McDonald's pizza as this incredible part of our childhood. But this is probably what those pizzas actually looked like.
Oh my god! Or that's what they like.
There's probably one
that didn't go bad yet underneath a cabinet somewhere that's still going strong. Dude, this is insane.
Shit. Okay, I'm looking. I just looked at the McDonald's pizza looks 100 times better than this.
Yeah,
actually.
there's
I'm
no.
sorry
I don't know why you
ill.
would say that, but
This is easily Jesus Christ. This is the worst looking pizza I've ever seen in my entire. And I know it's like this is horrible. This is so horrible. I can't tell.
The pizza,
is this
punk,
more offensive?
The pizza, the punk swag, the vibe. We can't wait to bring all of it. Maybe that's the punk chef. Dude, if you're listening,
I hope that's him.
I think that it's going to work. I think it's time to pivot, bud. You got to, this wasn't your calling. I think whatever. There must have been something you did right that you can take to something else. But, God bless you for, I don't know, man. I guess I'm going to tell you my thing quickly so I stop looking at pizza. But I'm glad to hear that it's in Fargo because I noticed in this Inforum article, they said we tried our damnedest to do it, but I cross-referenced with the Facebook post because the customers' comments, I was like, is Inforum like censoring the comments so that they're not swearing? Because this is what customers said in the comments. What? Gosh darn, love your pizza. And then another person said, dang sad to hear this. We've been a few times and enjoyed it. Thank you for trying. So I was like, are they turning goddamn...
You just hear this all as like Margie. Yeah.
But I guess it's because they're in Minnesota.
Wow. There's a couple of shots of the interior if you kind of scroll. Oh, my God. Moorhead, famously... the Moorhead Armory on 5th Street South was the site of the intended concert destination. That seems like a redundancy. That's where Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens were headed when on the day the music died. So
to be honest, I don't know what any of that stuff is about when people say all that. I don't want to know, but when people say like all the stuff you just said, I feel like it's like some like Eddie Trump
when Don
shit
McLean's
or something. I don't really care. I
really,
just tune out
really
when
going
people say
at
that.
it. It's not.
Now, did you look at the punkchefpizza.com and see like the wet pizza that they chose as their background image? Like, why did they do that? What are they doing? Oh my God. Well,
see, here's what I don't understand. Oh my God, all the food on this page looks so disgusting.
we just like ate dinner so fast so we could pod to, and now I want to barf for real.
They do have their menu here. Okay, so there are some the Blitzkrieg Bop is the name of a pizza.
And then they just have bruschetta.
Yeah. The Backdoor Hippie. I understand.
The only punk one is the Blitzkrieg. They have the Uncle Jesse. Like, there's just one punk pizza.
What?
Oh my God.
It's not like they don't have like ingredients, right? Or like heat. They have ovens and stuff in Fargo, in the greater Fargo Moorhead area. Like, why does this food even exist? Like,
there's just not enough competition. I think we're, it's safe to say we're probably anti-cop, but I think we are pro small business podcast. And I think what this is another lesson is we need more competition. We needed a true punk pizza place to maybe even a crust punk type place to really get it going.
Well, what I was going to, there are businesses that are owned by punks, right? Mm-hmm. But are there any like punk themed businesses that are good? Like, has there ever been like a pun-based like restaurant?
I think
bar
there's that like craft beer
that's
called like Punk Brew Punk Dog or whatever, and I think that people love their beer, and also they are really horrible to their employees and treat them like shit. So I
think punk shit.
Yeah, I think that's pretty classic, but maybe it just doesn't photograph well because it has mostly really good reviews. I mean, I'm looking all over. I don't know. We got to move. We could talk.
But you got to keep in mind the people reviewing it are in Moorhead, Minnesota.
It's true.
They're not in a real place.
It's true. I mean, just get Pizza Hut or Domino's or get the Papa. Really, that's what you need. Get the Papa.
Yeah, and you said that we're a pro small business podcast, which, like, I don't know, is that true? Do we want to be? Because aren't small businesses also canceled now?
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess so. So what you're revealing is that your beliefs are based on kind of the zeitgeist rather than any sort of personal conviction.
Well, I want to make it clear, yes, but also they're based more specifically on just what people are saying to me, you know? Like, I'm not even personally trying to, like, take the temperature and make a decision for myself. I just want someone to tell me how to feel, and I'll feel it. So it's even less convicted than what you're describing.
2 weeks ago, Jillian on Google said, tasted like Tombstone frozen pizza. Seriously, save your money and go anywhere else. Expecting the same quality at minimum of Sammy's or Spicy Pie. Never thought our local restaurant could taste so bad. People also hated the prices. Let's see. Staff were kind. Food served quickly. Super hot with no air circulation. Overpriced and not reflective of quality. 2-star review with no comment. Hi, Kelsey. We were sad to see a 2-star review. How could we do better? Pizza's mediocre. Was never offered a refill on my pop. Pizza was very average. Prices were high. I was expecting a fun, grungy, punky atmosphere, and that was not at all what I got. The music that was playing was not at all punk. All I heard was country music. I was really excited to go and try this because I thought it'd be a cool kind of 90s punky experience, and that wasn't what I got. The water they give you is just tap water. It's not filtered at all. Luckily, Moorhead tap water is great.
Moorhead tap water for the win.
But this is not a punk chef pizza and bar podcast yet, unfortunately. Well, we are probably going to make sort of a bloody nose, empty pockets style documentary about this.
Oh my god, we definitely should. What a flick!
I haven't seen it yet. Actually, it's still on my Plex queue. So, what's your punk news that I sent you a few minutes ago?
Okay, well, come on, man. Listen, I've only been to a handful of hockey games in my life, and the last time I watched an NHL game, this team was playing.
What you said is because mine was kind of inspired by the passing of Tom Verlaine, and what you said to me earlier, and that's why I sent you this one, is you said, "God damn it, Josiah," that's how you speak to me. You said, "God damn it, if the great Bobby Hull passes away, and we don't talk about hockey." And how he was right to say, Sam was saying Bobby Hull was right to say all the things he said. And as a Canadian, what'd you say, royalty? Specifically for his political freedom fighting, I think is what you said.
Yeah, that's
so that's why we're doing this
yeah.
one. I don't know. I don't really know much about him.
Which one is Bob? Like how? I mean, all hockey players. There's no good hockey player. But how bad
he
was
said
Bobby Hull?
I think he said like Nazis.
Oh, he
good.
looks racist.
He likes Nazis. I think is his.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was worried. I felt kind of bad because I was like, when you Google him, he just straight up looks like a person who's pro-Nazi comments. Like it's crazy how people look.
I mean, I think the reason that here's the thing. This is who was having I should say, not a field day, but an ice day with this today. Then G-Chat tier I just gave you, of course. So anyways, so you love him. You love Bobby Hull. And you think...
Sorry, but I should... This is great. So he's made some pro-Nazi comments. He said Hitler had some good ideas, but in like literally the most...
I didn't know that people actually said that. I thought that was like a rhetorical, sarcastic thing to say, that Hitler had good ideas.
No, because I think people did say it enough that at some point it became... Because this is 1998, I guess. My favorite hockey player, Bobby Hull, told the Moscow Times... Why are you doing an interview with the Moscow Times? He's a fucking...
I mean, did Hitler...
Oh, he's Slovakian. Okay, that makes...
Did Hitler think to like add
like,
heavy cream to your coffee? Did he invent like the breve latte? Like maybe those were the good ideas people thought he had. You know?
Yeah, totally. You know what? You got to hear him out. But he denied having complimented Hitler whenever people raised the subject. This incident was parodied by the Canadian news Saturday show This Hour Has 22 Minutes with Rick Mercer reading a spot saying Hull had been misquoted. And he actually said Sittler had some good ideas.
Oh, Rick Mercer.
Which I gather Sittler is also a hockey player. So that's that joke.
That's good. Well, anyway, so you're the hockey and the Hull head and the Hitler head, apparently. So what's the thing you want to talk about now?
Yep. Triple H. That's when you hear people talking about Triple H, they're talking about me. I was kicking around my favorite website, Outkick.com.
That's cool.
When Matt Riggle, but not Matt Riggle. But a guy who kind of, if you squint, does look like
Wait, who's
Rob
the Matt?
Riggle.
Oh,
That's
Rob
what it is.
Riggle is who you're thinking.
Matt
of.
Riggle is the author. No relation to Rob Riggle.
Matt Riggle's wearing a very Sammy flannel in his Twitter pic. I think he might be a Sam head.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. What
I
would I
I wear that
search?
buffalo plaid every damn day.
You think he's ever tweeted about the hold steady? No, he hasn't. What else would be a Sam
No,
thing
well
to
then
tweet
okay,
about?
take that plaid off. Blink 182. I don't know. Okay, listen. Rob Riggle's brother,
Bobby
Matt
Hall thing,
Riego.
right?
Yeah. See what he has to say about Bobby Hull. Seattle Kraken say they didn't ditch punk band over Jeff Bezos lyrics. What? A band that previously played at Seattle Kraken games claims they were not welcome back after dissing Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. However, the team says that isn't the case.
Can I just say
Who is she?
real quick? Jeff Bezos is not. He's done. He's obviously. He decided that he didn't. I mean, I don't know what it said in his resignation letter, but he's not. He doesn't run Amazon anymore. It's not his fault. He's moved on, and you should too. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
He
He's just moved on to dressing cool. Yeah.
Exactly. Getting his dick wet. It's great.
He's focusing on his embarrassment bone. Who is she? Who is she? Who is she? It's because there's a question mark in it. So I guess that's how you have to. Who is she? Sorry, it's really hard to do in a sentence. Who is she? Who is she? Is a pop.
Oh my God, we're never gonna get through this episode. Incredible.
Is a pop punk band that plays
Sorry,
songs
can you do
between
it? Let's
periods
get a
of
clean
Kraken
one.
games.
Let's get a clean one of that.
Who is she? Is a pop punk band that played songs between periods at Kraken games. We've got to try it again.
Oh my God. How do you do that in a sentence?
I don't know. Who is she? Is a pop punk band that played songs between periods at Kraken games. That sounds like a sweet gig if you can get it. If you don't know, and this is good because I actually didn't know this, the Kraken have some ties to Amazon. The company holds the naming rights to the team's arena, Climate Pledge Arena, and Amazon CEO Andy Jassy is part of the team's ownership group. That's why it was an interesting
Who is
choice.
she? Is
for
friend of the pod, Lisa Prank, is in this band.
What?
Yeah, who is she? Is Lisa,
Holy shit.
Lisa Prank and members of Taco Cat and Chastity Belt. So it's like definitely like a Seattle supergroup. I didn't realize that, and I maybe we're gonna have to ask Lisa how to do the pronunciation of it because
yeah. Because I feel like there's a few options. Like I was trying to say, what is it? Who is she?
I think that's what it's referencing,
she?
right? Who is she? Like that meme.
Yeah, but I'm just
in a
who
sentence.
is she?
I'm sure when they named the band, they weren't planning on having it be written up by Matt Riegel about Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. That's why it was an interesting choice for the band to bash Jeff Bezos by swapping some lyrics to the song My MetroCard by La Tigra. They claim that's what lost them the Kraken gig. And then there's an embedded tweet.
Okay, let me play the audio real quick on this tweet, and then you can.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to hear, but I think I'll read when I pause it. I'll read the next line in the article because my God, Matt, you beautiful son of a bitch, what you've done here. Oh no, Jeffrey Bezos, he's such a total jerk. Shut down all the bookstores. Billionaires do not work. My Orca card. And Matt writes, sounds like punk rock to me.
Yes.
Chills, Matt.
Now, the Kraken has denied the band's claims. Still, while it doesn't sound like there's too much animosity from the band, especially given that they're still rooting for the Kraken, as they should. They've been having a great year. They're currently first place in the Pacific Division. However, the team says that's not what happened at all. Kraken Chief Marketing Officer Katie Townsend spoke to GeekWire last week and addressed the band's accusations. We do not believe in censoring those artists, as is reflected by the variety of acts who perform at Climate Pledge Arena, she told GeekWire. However, we reserve the ways to part ways.
I just
However, we reserve the right to part ways.
Climate Pledge Arena. Think about that. Climate Pledge Arena.
It's very funny. If their behavior does not meet the professional standards we expect, we got to get Lisa Prank back on the pod. We also must ensure that the act is appropriate for the family audience that attend our games, and we require our artists are professional, punctual, and avoid consuming alcohol during their performance. As such, who it's she, will not be playing the next 2 games. We wish them well. Sounds to me like we've got ourselves a good old-fashioned she said, the Kraken said situation. Matt Regal having some fun. Matt's enjoying himself here. And
Did he do any
myself.
question mark play at that part at the end? Because
There was no question mark play, but I like to think he's doing it in his mind. This is awesome. Honestly, like, and that video, like, that you were playing, that is them performing that, like, at a Seattle Kraken game.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
In the arena. That's, like, legitimately fucking sick. That is very cool.
No, I thought it was the Las Vegas Kraken. Has it always been the Seattle Kraken? Sounds fake.
Well, they're
or new.
relatively new. The Las Vegas. Why don't you?
You would know. You would know.
Like,
you would know.
It's the Golden Knights, the Golden Knights of Las Vegas, and then those are the 2 expansion teams. I saw the Kraken play when I was in L.A. this
By the way,
spring.
a little more on Matt.
Trounced the Kings.
You love hockey and Bobby Hull. Here's what Matt Regal. It says written by Matt Regal. Matt is a University of Central Florida graduate and a long-suffering Philadelphia Flyers fan living in Orlando, Florida. He can usually be heard playing guitar, shoehorning obscure quotes from The Simpsons into conversations, or giving dissertations to captive audiences on why Iron Maiden is the greatest band of all time. And folks, that's punk news.
Sometimes punk news is genuine fiction.
The great reference we all know so well in that song. Sam, you're too cool. Probably something that's never been said to you in your life. I'm just kidding. I love you. What's going on? Let's start the damn episode.
Listen, watching this video, like I was saying before we started this, I really had to ask myself, is Gob, the best band? And also, would anyone in Gob become a cop? I don't think so. I really don't think so.
There's been a lot of guys in Gob, but yeah, I know. Like, there was a guy named
But
Happy
I bet none
Creeder.
of them would become
I think
a cop.
Happy Creeder or Wolfman Pat would become a cop. I mean, Wolfman Pat sounds like he'd be hunted by the cops, not a cop.
Yeah,
So-
that's the real danger. Now, like, doing Gobruary again is such a joy because, like, this band feels there's so little that is underrated, or unheralded anymore. Like, because everybody wants to champion something, and so everything that's remotely good gets sort of, I think, beaten to death as like a little hidden gem of some kind.
Yeah, and also on
and
top
yet
of that, like things that are Canadian that are like that didn't like things that are Canadian that are hidden gems are usually just kind of shitty. Or they were discovered. Like it's either like Eric's Trip or like Big Sugar or something. Like, Eric's Trip, obviously the heads
For sure.
know. Cool Americans know about Eric's Trip just as much as cool Canadians do. Otherwise, it's like Wide Mouth Mason is what we have. That's the unsung thing. And I think almost...
Yeah,
What you're
and White Mouth Mason are very good.
They're all fucking off. It's just atrocious dog
When
shit.
I walk
Maybe I would like it
outside
now.
of my window.
I don't know. There's a chance like Canadian A&R people are listening, so I like whatever you want me to like, I guess. Or no, I don't work at Exclaim anymore. I don't like anything. Actually, is the truth.
You're free to talk shit.
I can
on Wide Mouth
I
Mason.
can finally admit that I don't like stuff. All this time, no. But the thing about Gob, I think, is maybe
Finally, no one's ever heard you be negative.
well, that was the joke. So,
Oh,
want to explain it some more? Should we?
well, I don't know. We do have a culture of relentless boosterism. I assume. Listen, I understand it now. Look, give me a break, man.
I'm having so much fun harassing you today. We're having a great time here on this.
I know.
here
Well, I
radio
very
show.
rarely don't get that. I very rarely explain the joke to you. I was embarrassed. I felt hurt and I lashed out. I'm sorry. That's on me. That's all on me, man. I'm sorry.
It was great. I was thinking along. I think the point you were trying to make that I've hijacked and started this complex emotional abuse inside of is that I think the way we feel about Gob might be how people older than us, and maybe you felt this way too, but I didn't really. I didn't get it. But maybe that's how people felt about the Tragically Hip. Is like there's this band in Canada that is so sick and so huge to us that is not really like, maybe people know them a bit. And actually, maybe Gob was even in some sense more popular in America than the Tragically Hip were within their kind of relative field. But I feel like maybe Gob is our Tragically Hip, and they're not really having to they're not having like the emo night reappraisal or whatever. We're the ones doing the reappraising, and it's great. We own it,
Yeah, and I remember talking about this kind of last Gobruary where it was like, let this be our legacy a little bit, like the people who insisted on just like putting Gob in the right context and talking about them to like a audience that is like a little international, and this is like the one time where I'll acknowledge that one or two people do listen to this podcast. It's not just you and I telling each other how sick Gob is, but like the catalog is so deep and it's so like original, and it really feels to me like the promise of early Canadian punk insofar as it got to be unique because it was isolated. Like it's a cliche, but like that's I feel like why Gob has this utterly unique sensibility, because they do not sound like every other 90s like skate punk, pop punk band at all, because there's this like very Vancouver, like, I mean, a little bit of like West Coast, like obviously like in the States of this, but like West Coast kind of like power pop, like, lo-fi indie rock thing happening. Mm-hmm. And it's so fucking unique to them, like really is. And it's like beautiful to listen to, and it's aged so perfectly because you have these like signifiers of different genres ultimately wrapped around just like this as a pop song. Like, Jesus Christ.
It's so
like, what a fucking
perfect.
song.
It's literally perfect.
It's perfect. What else could you possibly want from a pop song? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Also, the video is unbelievably good. Like, I just cannot believe how good the video is. It has this like, it's shot on film. I mean, I'm just going to actually put it on for a second so we can look at it. Because
just do it.
I feel like I feel like there was a period we've talked about before where I didn't have much music, and it was like a scrambled channel, and I would like still watch things and get stoked, but just kind of like how other people would watch porno like that. I would be watching like The Wedge scrambled, but
amazing.
No, like this, and the fuzz bass on this also just sounds incredible. Every person filmed in this that's not Gob looks like they're from like Richard Linklater's Slacker, and then they're doing different sports. I mean, so everything you just said, I'm so glad you said it independently, that you called out kind of the indie rock and the kind of hipness embedded within this, and the bigger than just pop punk, because this month he's agreed to talk to us every week. We've got Tom Thacker on the show, and he gets into great detail about, I mean, you can just, it's just like, the things we love about Gob were kind of all there all along. It's not like they accidentally stumbled on it. They're just like heads. They know what's up. So that's why they're so sick. And he talks about this video a lot as well. So we won't spend too much time talking about it. But it's just like, speaking of your favorite sport, hockey, like, I love sports music videos. I don't know why. I just love them.
I mean, because it's just like, what? Punk and hockey? Wow, someone should start a pizza restaurant about this. I think you're right to kind of call them heads, because music like this to me sounds like it's swallowing the banana like
the
barf.
Backwards banana barf. Oh, nasty.
Yeah, real key Theo moments in this video. I just think when you listen to this, you hear like this feels to me like the sort of thing that gets applied to like more. Like almost like academic music. Like, I feel like this is the way people write about like bands that I will never listen to, where you're like, you can tell this person is drawing on all these different influences because they're just like a real music fan, and so they're like into all these different things, and it comes out in this like unlistenable thing that no one's going to give a shit about in 6 months. And to me, like, you listen to the song and you're like, this is a band that like does love like a few different things and has combined them in this way that feels so deceptively simple.
Yeah.
But those like, and I know this is fucking basic, but it's like those like Beach Boys harmonies sort of in the background of a guy being like, na 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 na. It's like so funny. It's so fucking funny.
I'm going to spoil the interview. I'm going to spoil something that everyone else will hear later. So this is GChat tier time release because everyone else will hear this later. But this is what he was referencing. He had just watched that. Yeah, that's what he was referencing.
Yes. Okay, everyone listen to the interview because like that's it. It's like these guys are legitimately operating on another level than the other bands like them were. And they don't get enough fucking credit for it at all.
But then the fact that this is like kind of still sort of, it's unique, but it's Screeching Weasels-esque, Ramones core-esque, but then it still kicks into the oompa this part.
Oh, exactly.
It's like,
and then the live.
you need nothing else other than this. This is all you need.
God, this fucking video is so good.
I think I do like this video more than Soda. I think these are kind of hand in hand. This is versus Soda. But I feel like this one is more kind of like
the little
lived
smile
in.
at the end.
Oh, he's so
Yeah, I agree. I think this is the best Gob video.
Oh, it's so good. So I just
Era specific, maybe. I mean, obviously B flat. I thought we had done this one last year too.
I know, but that's because they just have so many songs that are so familiar. So in addition to being on Too Late No Friends, which is Gob's, of course, all-time classic skate punk record, this is on the Team Mint compilation, the first Team Mint comp in 1996, alongside Cub, Huevos Rancheros, The Smugglers, Duotang, Mao, the Mr. T Experience, Pansy Division, Groovy Ghoulies. Kind of, it does fit in that realm, although I think the fast skate punk is that's what I love about Gob, though. It's like they don't really fit in anywhere. And that's why they're like Pod Spirit, But then I just was obsessed with this other release I found on Discogs that it was also on called Letters from Punksville. Look at the album art for this. It's so good.
Oh my God.
It's like a pencil crayon drawing of a punk mailman delivering a letter to a punk middle-aged woman, and then there's a punk middle-aged man mowing the lawn. It's so
Sorry,
good.
also there's a punk dog biting the ankle of the punk mailman. Like it's a dog with a little tiny mohawk.
This comp has Bigwig, Propaganda. Let's see, who else? The Undead, Anti-Flag, The Weaker Thans. I mean, it seems like it's just maybe half Canadian and half not. I'm not sure. Anne Beretta, that's a familiar name from like comp. This just like seems like something again that you'd buy at a pawn shop when you're like you'd be like, oh, I like punk. I want to hear more punk bands because I don't have good internet. I can't download, so I'll buy this like awful looking
Punksville
CD.
That's a place I want to live.
Released on Umbilical Records. I just love that. It's so good. Wow. And then we talk about the music video later. It's just if you're Canadian and you're of the right age, this video back to front, and it's like it's aged so well. Now the lyrics, I do want to talk about the lyrics. I want to talk about the concept of being too cool. But while I was looking up the lyrics and looking up stuff for the episode, I found a truly incredible YouTube channel that seems to be scraping the internet for lyrics and posting them. This is Faye Delancey on Twitter. This is Gob, You're Too Cool lyrics, but it has like sort of a grandma's stationery border, as you can see, and then it plays like other music.
Oh my God, what?
It's so good.
This is awesome. This is a very Josiah feeling video.
You should check out the channel. We'll come back to this one, but I thought you might be interested in this one. This is Guar, the Reaganator lyrics on this channel. I think it's a different grandma's background, and a different song too.
I like that. It's unique. They know they're providing a bespoke experience.
I just don't even understand how you would create. Like, this must be a bot, right? Making this?
Yeah, for sure.
Because how do you see how many videos there are? There's so many videos. There's like hundreds of videos. In fact, the reason I found this is because the bot seems to be in the G section of some like Guster, Guns N' Roses, Guitar Slim, Guided by Voices. There's so many of these. But anyways, I think this might be a good way to read the lyrics. It's courtesy of Faye Delancey, this video. So if it's not distracting, I'll keep the music on in the background.
It's good.
I know that you're not
should
too
read it.
enthused.
Read it over this. Yeah.
You've got just me around all night. I'm totally boring. I don't interest you at all, to say the least. You think I'm made up of straight lines, always contradict myself. I'm not stupid. I'm not smart. It's like I'm not even there at all. That's the best lyrics in the world to me. I'm not stupid. I'm not smart. Just that alone is like a perfect parallel structure. I've got to talk over sounds of people sucking face. I've got nothing left to say. I would take a stupid chance, but I hear people sucking face. I feel so out of place. Why don't you treat me fair? You stick your nose in the air and act like I'm in. Gotta wait for Faye to... This next slide, Faye.
It's a good vibe, though.
It's a really cool channel. The way. I can guarantee you're as much a loser as me, and you'll realize one day on the way out of your life. I mean, just such great teenage misanthropic lyrics about you're too cool. Or does it loop them again? Because they're too short for the...
Maybe they're just really trying to fill things in here.
It's so good. But I mean, what do you think of these lyrics? I think they're beautiful. I also think the concept of like thinking that someone's too cool is such a great teenage thought. Like, you're too cool for me, or that person thinks they're so cool, or whatever. I just love that kind of teenage misanthropy. And then I'm not stupid, I'm not smart is my favorite. That's like the best lyrics ever. I feel like that, I've been thinking, I'm not really much of a tattoo guy anymore, but I've been thinking about getting the Gob toilet bowl. And if I was to add text, I think I would put I'm not stupid, I'm not smart on it. It's so good. It's like, that's like Zen right there.
It is, it feels very like, I feel like you've modeled your entire personality off of the song in a lot of ways.
I have, without realizing it.
I feel like this is one of those songs where I have like a Josiah style relationship to the lyrics, where I'm like, I'm not stupid, I'm not smart, always contradict myself, but then otherwise it's like to me it's just like it's a vibe piece.
Oh yeah,
you know?
I mean, I never understood the
But
lyrics,
the lyrics
until I read them on Faye Delancey.
Yeah, the lyrics are fucking sick though. Like, obviously,
they're so good. Also, yeah,
thank you, Faye, for bringing these lyrics to us.
Tom has such a good vocal delivery. Even as as we go through more of Gobruary, we'll hear different eras, and he's always managed to, like, as he's evolved. But especially on this, there's this like unconfident kind of waveriness to his punk voice that it gives it such a like twee sentimentality to it.
Yeah, there's just like, again, that's the thing is, this is what I love about this era of like Mint Records a little bit, is it just sort of feels like, not that the subsequent eras of Mint Records are not good, but it's just so perfect that this band is on a label like that and not on like a definitively pop punk label, because it does feel like that's maybe the thing that contextualizes them correctly. And they're obviously on Mint for, I guess, more ostensibly kind of geographic reasons, but it feels like they fit into like this very unique and very cool moment in quote unquote indie rock. And these lyrics are also just like an extension of that. Almost.
Yeah. Oh, it's so sick. So I feel like we might have played some of this last time, but it's worth playing it again, because since last Gobruary, Gob's As Seen on TV partners, Another Joe, have come back, and they're releasing new music. And not only that, but my homie Ryan Walter Wagner from the band, the WPP, one of my favorite bands ever, is in Another Joe now. So it's all happening, baby. But this is from Much Music, and it's from The Wedge, and it's Gob and Another Joe interviewing each other on the beach. And they do play segments of this song in it as well. And I found some great quotes from Theo, which I think are like really ahead of their time in a way.
One day.
With the new CD, has there been any growth for you guys? Have you seen any growth? We haven't really we're not covering really any new ground, but we are dealing with topics such as racism and homophobia, which are, and there's like other issues. He
talks
and stuff
so
like
Vancouver.
That. I mean, there's still things like people got to learn. I mean, to learn about racism and homophobia, there's
I didn't notice this first time, but is he saying homophobia?
Yeah, he's saying it with people. Like, there's definitely like a bit of an accent on there
that still don't get it.
Homo.
On the way out of your life,
Well, it's even better with the
How do you think you
VHS.
guys have grown such a fairly large fan base across Canada? What's it taken to do that?
Well, we tell everybody that we know John from another Joe.
Damn right.
Because, well, we've worked pretty hard, I guess, at like promoting ourselves independent, DIY style. Theo, like, for instance, on tour,
They're filling
we stop at gas stations.
his
and
hood with
Theo
toilet paper
will
while he
peddle
talks.
CDs off to, like, anyone, like farmers or I don't know.
Yeah, we
whatever.
see they're in our audience. Gas station attendants, farmers are always in the audience.
I mean, they're so good. They're so funny.
They're so funny, but also like at that time, to be honest, like it does feel like punk at this time. Obviously cognizant of like, you know, homophobia and racism, but if we compare this
homophobia,
if you compare this to like probably the shit that like Blink-182 was saying, like what year?
Exactly. I don't know. I can't tell. I think like As Seen on TV came out. I'm actually gonna check. This is the episode where we need facts.
This is important. Yeah.
Let's see. I think it came out in like 96. Oh, 97. So this is probably 1997.
Yeah. So like you just compare this to like what their actual like pop punk peers were doing and saying at this time, and to be on national TV being like homophobia is so sick.
It's awesome.
Like I feel like we're constantly having to look back and like feel bad or be apologetic about things that we love that have aged badly because like people are pieces of shit, and it's like
that's
so
Theo
rare to look
saying
back and be
it.
like,
That's the guy who's like barfing up bananas and you know?
yeah.
It's crazy.
That's the guy who's like is always making a funny face, you know. But that is like that shit. That is the face of pop punk telling you that homophobia is fucking stupid. And I just think like
It's so
that is real value. The real value.
Yeah.
I
Shout out Theo.
God damn, God, man.
God.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're gonna keep the loving going. This is also in 1997. This is live at an Elks Hall.
We should start talking shit. We should be like actually going this shit.
This is at Williams Lake, Elks Hall in Williams Lake, BC. I mean, the hall is packed. I mean, they were like for a moment, they were like kind of a hall show band too. Like they were, they had their, I don't know if Blink was really a hall show band. They were kind of a, you know, Soma or whatever, but not like,
Yeah.
I mean, look at
God,
this.
this is so.
This just looks like a
fucking
Friends band in the good old days playing at a hall. And it is. It's my friend Tom Thacker's band.
Did we do the first Gobruary 2 years ago, and then did we not do it last year?
Yeah, we did
it last year.
February last year. Awful.
Oh
Awful.
God, that was
Cursed
real. Yeah,
month.
Jesus Christ. Because I remember walking around my old neighborhood listening to the Gobruary compilations, and they were like so mad.
Dude, Wolfman
Oh
Pat
my
is like
God.
so good at drumming too.
Tom is duck walking right now, like duck walking in like massive dickies. It's so good.
So sick. Okay, here they are in '98 in Montreal. And also they're playing already like 48-minute sets at this point.
Fucking sucks. We're gonna play another song.
People are requesting soda. The intro, like the guitar thing at the start is so iconic sounding. It almost has like Sex Pistols vibes.
Also, like Tom and Theo, just like as like a yin and yang pop punk, you know, set of vocals, so great. Like just like because this angle on this live video is just like straight, like it's like a just right up at Tom, and like he has such an amazing like intense. Like it truly looks like if Anthony Perkins was a pop punk vocalist.
They look like
it's
classic,
like incredible intensity.
They look like classic like cartoon depictions of miscreants. Like they look like they look like the British Beano, Dennis the Menace, and Ur Wooly or something. Like it's like classic. Like they look like they just smashed someone's window with a baseball and they're hiding and waiting to steal a pie from the other windowsill. It's so sick.
Absolutely.
Here's another one.
Just to have this like aggressive goof and then this just like straight up kind of like
he's
Tom
so
would almost feel
cool.
intimidating if he wasn't so like obviously friendly.
So this is a year later. They've kind of upgraded this is the How Far Shall It Takes You band. I think that's the bassist Craig who went on to play with Avril. And you can kind of tell that it's a bit slicker. You can hear the clicking of the drums. I mean that's more because of the venue, but Tom is just so cool still.
Oh, Theo is like literally doing a jig the entire time. Like, he's just like sashaying around. Like it's so like truly relentlessly goofy.
It's so good.
And not in a way. No, again, like Blink is top of mind because we've been talking about them for our whole lives, and also earlier today. But I think of it like, you know, when Tom or Mark kind of like goof around, it feels like they're still trying to look cool. Whereas I never think that Theo is trying to look cool.
Also,
like he's just trying to make his friends laugh.
I also feel like when Blink-182 goofs around on stage, it's kind of like, I would appreciate it if you guys could focus on your guitar, like look at your frets, because you're fucking everything up so badly. Whereas, you know, with these guys, it sounds incredible.
Yeah.
So finally, I don't know if people know this, but Tom has also been a member of Sum 41 for like probably, I don't remember how long, but a long time now. And so he's homies with them. And that's kind of an interesting thing at Sneaky D's. Love knowing the names of venues.
Oh.
But this is Blanket Fort Live. I don't know what that is. But anyways, this is with Cone playing bass.
I've got something to say.
Another former
My
guest in
fingers are
pod.
getting tired.
Killed Steven's baby today.
I need someone that can play bass. Can anyone play bass? Can anyone here play bass? Wait a second.
Wait a minute. Wait,
Hey,
maybe Cone
hey,
from Sum 41
can you play
fucking
bass?
I think
bass.
this is a setup. I think they were gonna ask Cone all along.
Oh,
They're not gonna
what are you
just.
fucking doing here, Cone?
They're not gonna.
I
I don't think Cone would be volunteering if he was there. He'd probably be hiding in the.
How very interesting.
Is that really Cone, or is that a clone of Cone?
That's funny.
Cone shows up for our last fucking song. Can you believe that?
This guy's a much better bass player, so check this shit out.
Derek flew him in with the Sum 41 chopper.
No, that's it. It's actually a motorcycle.
A chopper.
It's Chopper.
I'd be really sad if I got kicked off stage and the last song that my band was playing, so
What song
Cone
do you
could
want
play
to do?
that.
I want to do soda, but
I mean, we're gonna do Soda, but is there another one you
Come
want to
on,
play instead?
Cone, don't request
I'm
soda.
really cool, so I'd like to do You're Too Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of
Well,
basic.
the jury is out. The jury isn't in on that one yet, but is Cone fucking cool or what?
Okay, I gotta say something, and it's a little bit maybe awkward because I know Tom's on the episode. There's a chance he might listen. I think one thing I love about Tom Thacker that just came to me is that he he low-key talks like Pauly Shore. He has like a low-key Pauly Shore.
Totally.
Give it up for Cole, ladies and gentlemen!
I was like, what is that
He
voice
thinks he's
telling me? You're
cool.
right.
But even as the song kind of cleans up over time and becomes more polished with the sound guys or whatever, it sounds sick. Like even he's not pushing his voice right now, it sounds nice.
Because it's just a perfect pop song. That's it. It's just. I bet this was a great night at Sneaky D's.
Sneaky D's. So
When did he switch over to the SG? Because he wasn't playing an SG in the old videos, eh?
yeah, I wonder. I mean, he's gone through some looks. He's gone through some eras. You know, he's settled nicely into his Bad Brains hoodie era, which is pretty sick. But you know, in addition to being I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I know what I'm doing. In addition to being kind of, you know, having Cone, being part of the canon at this point. Canonically CanCon with clone. There's other CanCon that seems to be I don't know, something about this idea of being too cool. Maybe it's because Canadians are so insecure. But this band called the Zolas, who I realized while I was playing this are not the Darcys, but I knew it was one of those bands. But
same era. Same era.
But I think
you and I have paid as much money to the Zolas as we have for the Darcys.
I don't think I've heard either of them, but I think through context clues, I don't think I dislike the Zolas, is what I'll say. But anyways,
okay.
They have a song called "You're Too Cool."
Well, if they covered "You're Too Cool," then yeah,
it's not a cover.
Not
it's their own. I don't know why. It's their own one. And they also did like a fake takeaway show.
It's got like a bit of a knockoff the Bear vibe here.
Yeah.
Like what if Carmi had a lot of Factor money?
You know, people complain a lot about everything being mid now, but 10 years ago, everyone was trying to do a fake takeaway show and like pretending they were in Once or whatever. I think he gets in a car at some point and starts. Maybe not.
But the first time you saw a takeaway show, you were like, "This is cool."
Of course,
right?
I was fucking obsessed.
Was
like,
it just the second time?
No, I liked them all. Honestly, I remember seeing like a Phoenix one where they're at Versailles in a boat, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." I probably would still say that now, even if it makes me chuggy.
Well, yeah, like I don't know that it's like, you know, the fault of the bibliotech or whatever they were, you know, the gastrotech. What was it called?
La Blogotech.
La Blogtech. I don't think it's like their fault that everyone was like, "Oh, we can do this," and then you just got like infinite
hits,
you know, reproductions of it by like the worst bands and least inspired videographers on the planet.
I mean, here's the thing: every band fucking sucks except for Gob. So you know, if I don't really care.
I would love
Everyone
Gob
do whatever
to do a
you want.
show.
Do whatever content you want. I don't give a shit. Knock yourself out, you losers. You'll never be Gob. So fuck you. But speaking of someone, so the Zolas have a song called "You're Too Cool." Now, someone else in the realm of CanCon, I would argue even closer to Gob, although I don't know what kind of crossover with Gob. Someone who has twice been invited onto Dry January due to her status as a straight edge legend. Biff Naked has a song called "You're So Cool," which I didn't know that Biff Naked had like a, and also it sounds like this. It's very strange. Did anyone know about this Biff Naked song?
I remember when you offered to take me for a ride.
It's kind of dope. On your bike.
I was a little shy, but finally I
think this is from 2015. It sounds like a Paris Hilton song.
Yeah.
You know when you have someone who's like read too much Katie Notopoulos, who like genuinely wants to tell you Paris Hilton is like the best pop singer on earth. Like, no, it's not even a joke. I'm not being ironic. Like, I think stars have eyes or whatever it's called. What's her song?
If you gave me 100 guesses, I would never say this was Biff Naked.
I should have. Oh shit! Too bad we can't go back to do the guessing game.
No, it's fine because I mean, again, you know, geographically, they are connected.
But how did this even happen? Like, what is this?
I mean, like, this is only I feel like a few degrees removed from like Spaceman, let's say.
I guess so, but her voice sounds different. It sounds cool. Now, because Gob's not like the most popular YouTube search term, I do want to just show you a couple kind of weird things I found real quick. Now, "You're Too Cool" seems to be maybe some nerds will know about this. This is the end of the Sonic CD PC game. They say "You're Too Cool," and this has been remixed and stuff. These sounds. I've never really gotten into Sonic, but
No.
this makes me want to like it. It's so cool. See, it says "You're Too Cool" at the bottom. So that's something. That's a nice, relaxing thing.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Now, this other one uploaded by Rund Lee Wapatiris. I don't know what this is, and I don't even really know how to describe it. It appears to be somebody stumbling around their apartment filming random objects, but it's like a very artistic apartment with like, but like not in like a. I don't know how to explain it really. It kind of like, and there's this like song that sounds like the intro to a MIDI pop punk song. This video is just called Gob.
Yeah, it's very MIDI.
But like, what What are they doing? What is this? I love it. I know that.
Yeah, this is fucking sick.
It seems like someone's living on the floor in here, but they have a map on the wall. I mean, what is... And they have other videos, but the other ones are just like seemingly like... I'm just going to show you this other one real quick in case it helps. Because I don't know. What do you think so far? Does this help? Does this mean anything to you?
No, I mean, this reminds me of like, moving into my first apartment though and just like living on the floor and...
This one's called DDIU.
Making tracks in MIDI.
This one's called DDIU. Like, did someone just get their first camera and that's what they're doing? Or they're just laying in bed filming the wall. They've got some shit on the wall. They're sleeping on the pull-out couch. This person just loves to spin around in their artistic room, and
I feel like I gotta rearrange. I wish my house still looked like this.
Yeah, you wish it had more of a kind of squatter vibe.
Yeah, just get my shit on the floor.
Well, there's a yin yang on the floor. That's cool. You just called that shit? That's rude.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah.
There's a hose. Is that a hose beside the backpacks? This is a very
you got to be ready to hose down at any time.
Just hose it down. It seems like they have some sort of, get-togethers in here. Maybe someone does some kind of reading of either poetry or futures, perhaps. That is a hose, right?
I think so. Sounds like someone's in the shower. This room feels even more deconstructed.
Yeah, what is this?
I don't know.
Oh, are they going to show the person in the shower?
Oh. Is this what? Oh.
Så de är hos den klischa. Jag vet hur skickst du ut. Det är super.
Du wolltest duschen gehen, dass wir nur das Gesicht waschen können.
What are they saying, do you think?
I don't know, probably like...
Oh, sorry, I didn't...
Talking about gob?
Yeah.
Is this what Skinamarink is like?
I think so. This does seem like what I imagine. I'm way too scared to watch it, but I imagine. There's 6 videos on this channel. They all seem to be very perplexingly artsy. 2 subscribers. I don't know. But you know what? Because it's Gobruary.
Leftover donut there or something?
That's like nasty. That looks like Punk Chef pizza. Beside like some sort of vice for holding things. I
feel like there's probably some vices in this apartment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But not the magazine, because I think this either predates it or is like it's like that's exactly what this is. It's artistic and like bohemian, but not hip. There's no hip signifiers in here.
Yeah.
It kind of has like Blogotech takeaway show vibes. Oh, now he's back in bed. That was a perfect loop.
Wow.
Interesting.
This rocks. I want to live like this.
You want to live just on a pile of dust? Oh, he's getting his pipe. He has jam sitting on the windowsill. Are you trying to get ants everywhere? What are you doing? Put your jam in the fridge.
Little coffee. Is that jam? Where are you seeing? I didn't see jam. There's a coffee.
There's jam right there. Look.
There's a jam.
And a bottle of moonshine. He's got his moonshine and jam on the
and a crushed up
ledge.
Facts. Okay, well, yeah, you know what?
I don't know.
You overstayed its welcome.
Get your shit
like
together. Anyways, so that was all kind of the main stuff I wanted to say about Gob. But we did open up the cover section again for Gobruary. So we're going to have some listener covers in a minute, and I cannot wait to get into them. But first, there are 2 covers of this song organically in existence on the internet. We can rest assured there will be no pod inside jokes with them. The first one is from a compilation called How Far Nostalgia Takes You. It was like a Gob tribute compilation probably like 10 years ago, I'd guess. This is a band called Cricket with their take on You're Too Cool.
Hey dudes, it's almost September. We gotta get this Gob recording done.
What song should we play?
Oh, what about Soda?
That's good. No. It's been done way too many times.
Yeah, true.
Centipede.
What song is that? I've never even heard of that song. Nick, what do you think?
Hey, maybe we should do Lobster Boy.
No.
That's a good song.
but it's gotta be.
I don't know about this sketch at the start, but
I love this sketch. More sketches.
I like this version a lot, though.
No. Oh, wait. I know that you're not too enthused. You've got just me around all night. I'm totally boring. I don't interest you at all, to say the least. You think I'm made up of straight lines. Always contradict myself. I'm not stupid. I'm not smart. It's like I'm not even there at all. Why'd you talk over her? Sounds of
I love this. It's so good.
Yeah, this is so great.
The label that, or the, I think it's the Booker that did this song in Hamilton.
Oh, great. I just like that it's like a little like not can't quite hold it. It's like just perfectly roughly.
Yeah. This is 10 years old. This is in 2013 they put this comp out.
Awesome.
Interesting.
Yes.
So good. But I think I love that one, but I think this is my favorite organic cover. This is by Dave Davidson 217. We've got like some homework or something in the foreground. We've got a busted, maybe classical or just cheap acoustic guitar. I mean, this is so perfect. A comment saying that this is awful, which I disagree with.
Yes.
Trip vibe for sure.
Yeah. Like, but it's so good like this.
It's perfect.
I would have a complicated relationship with all of my bandmates, you know.
He sang the whole thing. It was perfect. So I guess if you want to submit a cover, here's the thing. As we kind of get more loosey-goosey with the pod, it's becoming even more of a mess. It's difficult to even now.
What are you talking about? The pod is tight and right.
Apparently this is called a sode that you're listening to, and then if you want the epi, I mean that's just
you got to pay for
epi.
Sodes are free.
That's just fucking awful. But I agree.
No, it's
and
good.
So if you, in addition to the epis, I guess if we're going to be doing these covers of Gob songs, you need to know what song we're doing. If you're listening to this right when it came out, you have the weekend to do the cover of the next song and submit it to be played.
But you've already told people on the chord.
We haven't come up with a name for Discord yet. That's
the D chord.
The chord. ISCO. The disco.
What if it's a bit of a D beat kind of thing we've got going on here in the Discord?
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. So we can do that for now, I guess. We'll call it a D beat thing in the Discord.
Dickhead.
Dickhead.
Remember when I explained your joke to you earlier in the episode?
So
and like
you were mad.
All the things that have happened, like today.
Admit that you were a little mad when I pointed it out. You were a little heated.
Oh, I was mad at myself. I tried to make it that I was mad at you. Last week in our conversation about 10-yard fight with the corpsman of the pod, Mark Teo, I believe I did utter the words "proud to be straight" in reference to a song called "Proud to be Straight." But now that's a meme on the 155 memes account. Is me? It looks like I said it. And honestly,
when you were dressed at your
bad.
most Reddit, also like when you had like proto Reddit outfit. It's pretty
boots
cool.
and braces is kind of the look there. That's not as bad to me as me explaining your joke. Like I'm deeply mortified.
So now we're like 4 minutes.
So
we're 4 minutes into me trying to say go to the Patreon and sign up. That's how confusing the pod is. Maybe maybe the more people who sign up or the longer we do this, truthfully, the more people who quit probably. This is going to become just a complete indecipherable word salad if it isn't already. Just us sort of almost groaning, like letting out an utterance of a sound, kind of is what our promotions will be. With the we'll just be like Patreon, and that's that's deconstructing language as we try to. So that's what it is. You could be part of this section if you want, is what I'm trying to say. And the Discord's really fun. It's really also horrible in a great way. And we're both there. So you can do that too. First off, this is Diana's Spouse with You're Too Cool. The other thing that we have to explain is these will go on Bandcamp, so you can hear the full thing if you want. So here's Diana's Spouse with You're Too Cool. We're going to start it off sort of halfway through the cover.
I would take a stupid chance. I hear people sucking face.
Good Lord.
And I feel so out of place.
I'm so excited.
Why don't you treat me fair?
This is like perfect with the chord progression.
In the air and act like I'm on the way.
It's so funny to remember that not only do people listen to this, but there's people who are like this talented just waiting to be like, oh, you want me to do You're Too Cool by
Cover Gob? Yeah,
here
of
you
course.
go. Here's something that'll make you cry in like a. I don't want to cheapen it by saying "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" way, but it kind of like in the sense that "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" is like the Iliad or whatever through a country bumpkin lens, which I am cheapening it. But it's like
that's like the Iliad, and this is Iliad,
what they're having. So that, I mean, goddamn, got to delete this. That was beautiful, genuinely. And I'm
delete
sorry
the whole
for
episode.
speaking.
That was fucking gorgeous.
I'm sorry for
I'm so
speaking.
excited about this. The Gobruary covers, like those compilations, like for people who, I don't think we've got a lot of new listeners probably in the last 2 years.
Someone hearing our grunting and coming in, but you know,
yeah. But if you're one of the people who was like showed up in the middle of MC Arch and then was like, I'm interested.
If you were on the Zola subreddit and got angry and wanted to come here and yell at us, you know,
yeah, the Gobruary covers from 2 years ago are some of the best things that have ever happened in relation to the pod.
I agree.
Like, I really think the coolest things that have come out of Blink-155 and 155 is, like, the amount of money that we managed to raise in the middle of the pandemic and all of the Gob covers.
I agree. And again, like, there's still time. The gauntlet is thrown. Like, Tom's here. He's listening. Tom kept telling me how stoked he was about the first round of Gobruary covers. So, get in here. Let's celebrate
So impress
Gob.
Tom.
Exactly. The next artist is called Gob Cover Band with You're Too Cool. There's some sort of admin message here that really pisses me right off, knowing who this is and what they didn't even bother sending in a WAV file yet. You just fuck you for doing that. But anyways, here's Gob Cover Band.
Just be around all night. I'm totally boring now. I don't interest you at all, to say the least. You think I'm made up of straight lines. Always contradict myself. I'm not stupid, I'm not smart. It's like I'm not even there at all. Got to talk over sounds of people sucking face, and I've got nothing left to say. I can take a stupid chance. I hear people talking face. I feel so out of place. Yeah.
I mean, like wide open,
so fucking great,
wide open, spacious, and sloppy power pop. Is there anything better, really, folks? Is there anything better than that? My God, I was actually,
that's all I want.
I was
I just want to
gesturing
wash
with my
a
hands
guitar.
while I was saying that. I was gesturing with my hands. Is how much I loved that. And I whoever does these covers where it's called, Gob cover band with lowercase cover and band, or maybe Green Day with a lowercase d. Whoever that might be. They've always got the craziest drums that I love, just like ridiculous, like surfing fills and stuff. So sick. So that was amazing. Here's DRMC, also responsible for our punk news themes with "You're Too Cool." Thanks to Steven Noodles D'Angelo for the gang vocals. Here we go.
Hey, Josiah. Hey, Sam. Do you really think it's a good idea to bring covers back?
So I'm going to pause right there. Steven is someone that I see in the Discord all the time. He's one of our most vocal fans, and I had never heard him speak before. And that's really shocking that he has actually a much deeper voice than I thought he would have. Definitely more macho sounding. So that's interesting.
Well, we do. Hit it, Dad. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I know that you're not doing this. You got just me around all night. Come on. I don't interest you at all. To say the least, you think I'm made up. Straight lines always contradict myself. I'm not stupid, I'm not smart. It's like I'm not even there at all. Got to talk over.
Oh my God.
Sounds of people sucking face. I've got nothing left to say. Chance. I hear people sucking face. I feel so out of place.
Oh, this is crazy.
Got to talk over. Sounds of people sucking face. I've got nothing left to say.
I love how much this song is about sucking face. It's so good.
It's a lot about sucking face. Now, I have missed the DRMC other song references, thing where we try not to embarrass ourselves, but I at least do want to say I recognize Newfound Glory. Jesus Christ, I recognize No Use for a Name. So,
and I heard
congrats to me.
B flat was in there too, so I at least know my Gob.
Yeah,
even though I don't know my other stuff. That was so sick though. Great work as always. Here's Fish Tricks. You're Too Cool. Here we go. Ooh, I missed those twinkles.
Yeah.
All our old friends are coming back. More tropical Fish Tricks than I'm used to.
Yeah. Margaritaville Fish Tricks.
Well, if I knew the name of a tropical fish, maybe I could do some kind of... Oh, come on. That's delightful.
It is really nice seeing our friends back again.
That's so nice. Oh my God.
Fuck yes.
So good. Okay, here's the Baggage Handlers with You're Too Cool. People are riffing. Is there a Mellotron in there? Baby. cry from this. That is fucked. That's so good. And it's a reminder to me personally. I am very slowly every once in a while trying to write songs again right now. And I always want to step away from doing like the same old chord progressions that I always use. But when you write a song this simple, listen to all the beautiful leads that can happen. Like everyone's been doing different things the whole time. It's
ample lead opportunity.
Oh, so much leads. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was fucking sick.
All right. So Sam, this is definitely one of our most CanCon heavy episodes in a while. And I just think maybe, like I said, the Zola's subreddit, or maybe the Biff Naked You're So Cool heads have come out to play, or even the Bobby Hall hooligans, as we call them here in Canada. Mm-hmm. There could be a lot of Canadians here who don't normally listen to the pod, and I thought it could be maybe interesting. I just know you said this to me in passing once a really long time ago, and I don't think we've ever talked about it. Are you friends with Shawn Mendes' lawyer or something?
It's funny because I feel like maybe we've talked about this on G-Chat, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that we've ever talked about it on pod. It's honestly a really long story. Maybe we'll save it for a.
We should do a whole episode or even a series of epi.
We could do an epi,
or should we do?
We could do.
It's more epi, not so.
Yeah, well, I think because it's so good and so rare to hear it told that I think people should have to pay for it. Well, so yeah, let's just.
This next cover, maybe you know this person too, because this is by Shawn Mendes' lawyer's neutral friend. Maybe it seems like I remember this person being Shawn Mendes' lawyer's best friend before. Maybe they've had some kind of falling out or half falling out to become neutral friends.
Interesting.
That's sad. But here we go. Oh, that's right. Of course, neutral friend. Milk Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
You think I'm made above straight lines, always contradict myself. I'm not stupid, I'm not smart. It's like I'm not even there at all to talk over sounds of people sucking face. I've got nothing left to say.
I love this. It's so good.
I feel so out of place.
Now, first of all, incredible. Now I understand that hopefully you are still best friends with Shawn Mendes' lawyer, and that was more a reference to the Milk Hotel and not your strained relationship with the legal representation of one of Canada's worst pop exports. But, I was wondering, thinking about the sucking face thing, like, I feel like I haven't heard someone use the expression sucking face maybe ever in real life, or at least not for decades. Maybe it's more of a TV thing, but then it has me thinking, people don't really suck face like they used to, do they? In fact, I think carnal relations between people has really moved. It's kind of just like, from what I can glean, you go on an app, and you say, I'd like to put my thing inside of your thing, or vice versa, or let's touch things. And then is that what it's like? Dating apps? But I don't think, you don't really see people making out in public, but I feel like in the 90s and 80s, you would see people like French kissing on the bus or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, people used to French kiss on the bus.
What happened to that? Now it's all Uber to my Tinder den.
Okay. Pretty good. Yeah, exactly. It's true. Has anyone ever said sucking face right outside of like a script though?
Yeah, that seems like a John Hughes thing to say. Well, I mean,
do you ask? And here's the thing: you never. Yeah, you don't. Sucking. It's always you're always describing someone who's sucking face.
And you're complaining about someone sucking. You're not being like, oh wow.
Hey Josiah, do you want to suck face?
You're like, looking to get my face sucked tonight.
Yeah.
I wish someone would suck off my face.
Oh man,
it could be.
I've been working on trying to self-suck.
Self-suck your face.
Yeah. What's the surgery people get now?
You gotta get your
take all the fat out of their.
How do you say that out loud? I don't
buka face.
Oh, this is a good show.
People getting that face hollowing surgery so they can self-suck.
Up next, this artist is called Sounds of People Sucking Face with the cover of You're Too Cool. I mean, I'm a little worried about what we're about to listen to, but this is Sounds of People Sucking Face. Okay, good. It's not Sounds of People Sucking Face.
Oh, yeah, you thought it was going to be a little more experimental.
It was going to be a little squeaky. Instead, we kind of got some Bill Callahan vibes after the neutral. This is incredible. I honestly think my favorite genre of music, we were talking at the break about how you're one, because the newsletter is back too. That's another thing. Everything's a plug, but we are doing the newsletter again where we kind of recommend things we're into. And I haven't been listening to music at all for 2 years. And right now in real time, I'm realizing it's because my favorite genre of music is kind of like highbrow indie rock deconstructions of 90s pop punk. And I need more of that in order to be able to listen to music
I got great news for you. Yeah.
That's all I really want. So that was incredible. I loved that. Oh, I missed this. Okay.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome. Like, this is really like, I'm like, the cover section.
I know. It's our old friend.
Old friend.
Dr. Bugman 31. Now, Dr. Bugman's take on B flat, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, it might actually be my favorite cover of all time from the cover section. I think it was that one.
Shit.
There was Dr. Bugman is like, I'm the number one Dr. Bugman fan. Like, dude, I fuck with Dr. Bugman 31 so hard.
Yeah. They're your doctor.
It's true. Yeah, I actually send.
He is
I am going to start sending Dr. Bugman like pictures of my scrotum and stuff.
You should, yeah. Just check your spots.
Yeah, there was a spot, but it was just an ingrown hair. So maybe next time, Dr. Bugman, I'll get you to look at it. But
better luck next time. I know that you're not too enthused.
Like that fucking voice. It's like James Taylor, honestly.
I don't interest you at all, to say the least. You think I'm made up of straight lines, always contradict myself. I'm not stupid, I'm not smart. It's like I'm not even there at all. Got to talk over.
This is the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
People sucking face, and I've got nothing left to say. I will take a stupid chance. I hear people sucking face. I feel so out of place.
It's really hard to stop this one. Oh, dude.
Wow.
Please, everyone.
That's so, man.
Everyone
great
listening.
to have the doctor in again.
Yeah, that's true. But, everyone, get it. Let's get some other kinds of doctors in here. Let's get some, other thing. Not just doctors. What's another kind of thing you can be? A cop? Well, let's not have any cops.
Yeah, you could be.
Those are the only two jobs.
Polyamorous firefighters.
That's true. That's a thing. And if you want to know what that thing is, patreon.com/Reddit. Okay, finally, this is our old friends, the Silver Bullets. The description of the song, "I'm not stupid, I'm not smart." I love that. The art that was uploaded will not load, unfortunately, but it's called BC Curriculum Doc Grade 6.png. I think I understand what kind of vibe we're going for.
That's promising.
Now, instead of being called You're Too Cool, this is called We Too Cool. So I believe this is another reference to our old friends, the We scandal. This is Canada land. Jesse Brown could never. Do you like Jesse Brown? Do we have pod beef with Jesse Brown? I feel like we should.
Yeah, I don't know that to me, it's not even, is it worth our time?
Yeah, you're afraid. You're afraid, and that's fine. You don't want to have
to
do the bringer thing again.
We can beef with Jesse Brown. No, I'm not
you don't want to have to do the bringer
Jesse
thing.
Brown.
Okay, I just think he seems annoying. I never listened to any of it. I haven't really read any of the articles about whether it's good or bad. I just think he seems like a bit of a. I feel like he seems like a kind of guy who complains it's hard to get a full pint around here. You know what I mean? Like they don't
for
pull
sure.
their pints
No, but
properly.
the actual worst thing about Jesse Brown is that he is exactly the dude that you think he is. And then from time to time, when I still listen to a Canada Land episode about something that's making me really mad. And like one of those things where like Canadian media has a collective opinion that is making me really fucking annoyed. And so I listen to Canada Land to punish myself because I need to be exposed to more of it. He has like the take that you or I would have. And it's like infuriating.
The fact that you agree with them?
Well, just more than like I don't think he's like intrinsically whack.
Right.
I think he's just corny.
Which is, I think, the greatest sin of all. And I don't know why we're talking about him, but this is We Scandal.
Because we're about to listen to a fucking a song about the We Scandal.
Did it surprise you that she was asking for your advice?
This is truly the greatest and dumbest project either of us will ever do in our
people
lives.
around the world about our service programs.
That's why we can't ever end the
one of the
pod.
largest U.S. service
No,
programs.
because like
it's all 50 states. We run the only on-transcript in the U.S. recognition of service program when you apply to college. We built one of the largest service programs in Canada at 7,000 schools. And I think that's what's gotten lost in this. This program actually worked.
Oh my God.
When it launched, the Canada Student Service Grant, within 1 week, we had 35,000 youth apply, 60% from diverse backgrounds, every province, every representative corner. 83 nonprofits were part of the coalition to deliver the service opportunities. All of that was lost for 100,000 students this summer.
Largely because information came out that we had paid the Prime Minister's mother, the Prime Minister's brother.
I think largely just because of the politics of the pandemic. We were in a situation whereby the bureaucrats asked for assistance. We put up our hand.
I'm letting this one play all the way through.
And then we created quite an amazing, remarkable program.
And you're learning
and
a lot.
it never saw the light of day.
I'm learning that every Canadian sounds like Tom Green at all times.
I have no regrets.
Do we sound like Tom Green?
Engaging Margaret Trudeau to help support the organization on mental health.
Each of these people sounds like a different era of Tom Green.
But she's been a champion for mental health for decades, but really was only brought into We when she was the mother of the Prime Minister. So on some level, was there also you guys capitalizing on that relationship?
Margaret Trudeau's awareness as an advocate.
You know what's the best part about this one, Sam, is that there's really, it's so absurd that there's actually no joke that you could even over-explain, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true.
Dude, You're Too Cool. Oh my God, what a treat. Gobruary 2, I'm so excited. I have no final thoughts.
Yes.
I've been saying them the whole time. I love Gob so much. I love Gobruary. I love busting Sammy's balls. I do not like Punk Chef Pizza. I don't approve of the things Bobby Hall has said in the past, but that's between Sam and the media. What else is there to say? I just can't wait. I'm so excited that I got to talk to Tom Thacker, and he promised to talk to me once a week, every week this month, and that's the best part for me. Sam?
He said Sittler had good ideas.
It's the second iteration. We skipped a year, but we're so excited to be back for Gobruary Part 2. We had Theo the first time around. I'm very excited to welcome to the show Tom Thacker from Gob. What's up, Tom?
Hey, thanks for having me. I would have loved to take part in the first one, but I had a baby and it was a pandemic. I was at home. I was so busy.
We needed you because Theo was just out of control. He was like blasting on a harmonica while I was trying to talk to him and stuff. I mean, how do you rein that guy in when you're in a band with him?
I can't. Like it's impossible. Every conversation I have with him, he talks about like pandemic stuff, and he'll go for hours, and I'll be like, okay, I love talking about COVID, but want to talk about some gob shit every single time. And so, when I spoke, I think you reached out, or I can't remember what happened last Gobruary, but I was like, Theo should do it. And also Theo loves talking and stuff. I don't love talking about myself or whatever as much as Theo does. So I was like, yeah, Theo do it. He'll be stoked. And then he's like, I don't know what to say. And he's texting me. I'm like, do whatever you want to say. He's like, but I didn't write this song. I'm like, well, you can say your interpretation or whatever you have. I don't know. So, but then, of course, he's going to pull out his harmonica or his balls perfect. Or something.
I mean, I don't think he pulled out his balls, but definitely our show in general, the vibe is more pulling out your balls than saying something insightful. So this will be a different turn. You've already mentioned in our preamble, you've already talked about French New Wave and whatnot. So I think we're going to be a little bit more highbrow today. But feel free to pull out your balls if you want to, I guess.
Yeah, if I'm feeling it. I don't know. We'll see.
So I guess, are you from Langley, BC as well? Or
yeah, I grew up in Langley, BC, and
do you? When's the last time you were back? I mean, the traffic is. My parents live in Brookswood, and it's like it's brutal to get to their house. The traffic is so bad.
My brother lives in Brookswood. You grew up in Langley as well?
I didn't. I grew up in Abbotsford, actually. In fact, Gob, we won a contest at my high school, and Gob came and played at my high school, Yale Secondary School, and it was a big moment for me. And I ran on stage and made an ass of myself, and it was like I thought it was going to be this epic movie scene, and instead it was just kind of like ended with I don't know. I feel like it was no one noticed, and I just felt embarrassed and weird after. But
we played your high school.
You did, yeah.
Well, I can't even imagine a high school. What did we played a whole set?
I think so. I think our high school was right beside Recreation Center in Abbotsford.
Okay.
Yeah, Yale Secondary School, most famous for notorious BC gangster Jamie Bacon, was in my grade, and he's part of some big Surrey homicide sting. And also, I went there, so we had a podcaster and.
Yeah, we had a gangster in Brookswood too. I went to Brookswood, and we had a gangster there, Rob Krieger, and he got executed in his car. But that would have been a few years earlier. Yeah. What year did we play at your high school?
I'm trying to think. It was probably around the time of How Far Shall It Takes You, I think.
Okay.
Because, do you remember playing at a lot of high schools?
No, but I remember, when we first started and we would go and play in the clubs, it wasn't a good fit for us because all the bands took themselves really seriously, and we didn't know what we were doing, but we knew what we didn't want to do. And that's kind of how we kind of guided our way in the early stages of Gob. And then we made the decision, we used to play we used to book a weekend at the Old American pub, and it was a mix of kind of homeless people and then the party punks, and it was just super cheap drinks in a gnarly place, and people were there, but we were like, we need to play for the kids, and we weren't part of any industry. So we're like, we just started booking halls, and we would go to Brookswood and hand out posters. I was like, I fucking grew up here, and I know that the kids are starved for entertainment. If we go there and poster this school, kids will come out. And of course, I didn't really know. Like, I just assumed that. But of course they did. Like, we booked the Langley Civic Center, and we're like, fuck, we're going to lose our shirts if no one comes to this. And 800 kids came. It was like 400 capacity, but as we got to like 200, we were like, we better slow down the counter, the clicker, and so we just packed this place like crazy. And then we're like, okay, well, maybe we can kind of make a go at being in a band. So we did this a few times. We used to do this show called Punk Strikes Back. And there was a point where a teacher or a principal was like, you guys, what are you men doing in this school? We're like, I'm like 21. They're like, you can't be in here giving out posters. They went and tore the posters down. We're like, shit. But at that time, there was at least enough word of mouth that people would come to a Punk Strikes Back show. And all these other kids started bands because they're like, I can do that shit too. So,
I mean, Langley Civic Center was huge for me, but I was too late for that. Like, I feel like by the time I was able to see Gob, I was seeing you with Simple Planet, Croatian Cultural Center, or shows like that, like kind of the bigger level. But I never got to see this. So this week we're talking about You're Too Cool, the Too Late No Friends era of Gob. I mean, first of all, this song is just, I'm obsessed with it. The music video is, I think, it's perfect kind of runny nose CanCon filmmaking, really, right there. Like, it's just like, it's shot on film. It looks beautiful, and it feels like you're inside of like Mad Magazine or Beavis and Butthead, or like, it has that, I guess, just like, how did you even, I guess the real question is, how did you even arrive at the toilet bowl logo? Like, where did all these things come from to just capture this like teen experience visually?
I can't remember exactly what, like, I think the toilet was my idea, and then we had a friend just draw up a toilet. I'm not sure. I think it's like, I was really into like before we started Gob, before we kind of got into, like, we always liked punk, but I was really into Sonic Youth and like indie rock, kind of like that kind of stuff. And there were these sort of cartoony things, and we didn't want to go fully cartoon, but they had like the knitted like dolls and stuff like that. And I think they maybe had I don't know, maybe it was their washing machine. I think they had one with I'm not sure, but we decided on a toilet, and we were just like, you put Theo and I in a room, especially then, and it was just like instant like toilet humor and like joking around and whatever. And I guess that is where the toilet came from. You're Too Cool was the song that Mint wanted to release as the first single. And we were like, we didn't know what we wanted to do, but we knew what we didn't want to do. And the first thing that we were like, didn't want to do was, we didn't want to make videos. We were like, videos are shitty, like bands we don't like kind of thing. Even though bands we love made videos, we're like, fuck that. We're not doing videos. We're going to be like Fugazi or whatever. And then they were like, let's have a conversation, because like, we really think you should make a video. It's going to really help sell this record that we're spending $1,200 recording. So they had us in the office, and they're like, look, we really want to make a video for You're Too Cool. And it's like, okay, we'll make a video on one condition. And we think we're like playing real hardball here. We're like, we're not going to make a video for You're Too Cool. We'll talk about that later. But we're going to make a video for Soda, and we're going to build a ramp, and we're going to jump our bikes off this ramp into a lake, and we're going to film that. And they're like, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, just tell us where to send the check or whatever. And we're like, yes, we totally fucking got them. And it's not like we were trying to fuck them over or anything. We were just like, if we're making a video, we're doing it our way. Right. And meanwhile, like, we leave the office, and they're like, this is so much better than what we had. Like, they're going to make this fucking insane video that's going to be amazing. And of course it was amazing, because it's so fun. And, I kind of knew that not everybody gets to lake jump. Like it's a very specific thing. Like I don't know if that was a thing. Well, you were in BC, so I don't know.
I've never done it, but I've been around it.
Never...
I've been around it. I've never done it, but I've been, it's like I'm talking about cocaine or something. I've been around lake jumping, but I've never, never partook myself.
It's way better than cocaine. So, but yeah, we left the office and they're probably just like, this is fucking amazing. And so then we make this video and it turns out even better than what they set out to do. Theo put the bugs in his mouth and it was just absolutely insane. And it actually got played on Much Music and we were caught off guard. We're like, that's crazy. Not only did they play it, they played it all the time because it was so short that it fit in everywhere. So, and then we kind of, Theo's cousin was like a amateur filmmaker and then we kind of had the bug. So then they're like, all right, you're too cool, Tom. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do something very Canadian. And I don't know why. We're not like, we don't really care about countries or borders or anything, but it's like, we experienced snowboarding and I played hockey and so we're like, let's do all the winter sports. None of us had ever curled, but we just thought, let's just do it all. Let's do a medley of Canadian winter sports. And the funny thing about it is people have mentioned this to me that, all of your videos have sports like soccer and stuff. We're not sporty. Like,
right. I was curious about that.
We're not sporty at all. It's just, I think it just lends itself to I don't know, like a fun, energetic vibe.
Something I love about this song that I think has always been true about Gob, and even hearing you kind of name drop Sonic Youth or like Fugazi, I think is interesting to me because there's always been, it's like your band is called Gob and there's Theo making faces and, spitting up banana and all this like gross stuff. But I think there is this like, there's this high brownness under the layer. There's something about, there is an artistry in early Gob that I think other bands like that didn't necessarily have. And I think on this song, the harmonies at the chorus are just like, that's like kind of a finesse that other bands might not have. But then also when I was listening today, there's like the guitar solo that kind of just sounds like a little bit like a dumb guy pop punk guitar solo. But then there's like this tiny guitar sweep at the end. That's just like, was that something that was going on where you're kind of like, you're really good at guitar, but or tell me about the struggle between sort of being an artist and also being kind of a goofball. Where does that pendulum swing?
Yeah, the guitar solo, I think, that's what it was. It was the tongue-in-cheek. And like when I first picked up guitar, I was like, I want to do Yngwie Malmsteen or whatever. Yeah. And then I listened to it and I'm like, I don't really like that music. And then it kind of went to, so I kind of had those skills a little bit. And so did Theo. Theo's got a great picking hand. But, what's remarkable about that is the amount, we put so little time into the recording of this and we didn't care about getting anything right. In fact, we would sometimes be like, does that vocal double sound too tight? And then we'd make it more beady, Right. But what's remarkable about that is I'm not like a good guitar sweep player, like not at all. Like I can kind of fake a couple sweeps, but that sweep is pretty good in that solo. And there was no time put into it whatsoever. But yeah, I think that there was, like, I don't think it was necessarily highbrow. Like, I think, but what I do remember is when I first started writing music for Gob, like I wanted to do something where there was dissonance and release. And I didn't really have any like music, like I can read music and I know way more music theory than most rock musicians, but that's very little compared to musicians that study that stuff. But I didn't know enough to be able to compose like very complex pieces. But so what I had in mind was sort of like, I really loved like Sonic Youth and Dinosaur Jr. and Sebado was like my favorite band at the time. And there was all these like, for one, there were like these tense bits where it was like these close intervals and it would kind of, and then it would release. And later on, a friend of mine was playing a Chopin piece on the piano, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, oh, it's Chopin. And it blew my mind. And I was like, I need to learn, because I had kind of learned piano a little bit. And then I was like, I need to learn how to play that. And even though I can't, like I tried to play, But anyway, that blew the doors off of me understanding what kind of music that I thought I wanted to hear. And it was like romantic era piano music with all those lush chords. And it's like before jazz, there's all this tension and the chromaticisms and stuff and a looseness, but with virtuosity. And I'm not saying that Gob is anything like that, but that's sort of where the sort of, I don't know. Anyway,
I hear what you're saying.
That's what I consider. That's what I consider highbrow.
Right.
We try to put those influences on a music at times, but we don't have the abilities to do that really. But yeah, the sweep solo, I don't know. It's just a silly thing, but it's funny. You mentioned the chorus, and that is, so this song, I don't remember sitting down and writing this song. Like, it's a very straightforward Ramones-y kind of song.
Yeah.
And I don't remember sitting down. I probably didn't even spend that much time writing it, but it's definitely, the influence for this song is National Lampoon's Vacation. I remember being a kid. I do remember sitting down with my brother and watching Vacation. And when the Ramones came on, it was like, yes, like, what the fuck is this? And, the chorus for You're Too Cool is Holiday Road. Like, that's those harmonies. Of course. It's from that Holiday Road. It's just a little bit of it, but that's like totally the influence for this song.
Oh, that's so good.
And I love Fleetwood Mac as well. Like, that was the music my dad played when he was making waffles when we were kids. Like, he would blast Rumors. So hearing Lindsey Buckingham's voice and singing that fucking awesome song that was the influence for You're Too Cool. But I don't remember like actually writing it and like what was in my mind at that point.
Right.
But that's also the reference. Like, when I sit in the car and put the headphones on, that's like Rusty puts the headphones on and then the Ramones play it. So that's awesome. What's in the video.
That's so good. I love that. So I'm understanding that some of these things I've picked up on over the years. I mean, I agree with you that it's not in Gob, but the fact that you're even aware of Chopin and all that stuff, like that bud being in your head obviously is part of what makes it so unique. But where did you get the punk part from? What was your, because I don't know who was the punk band in Vancouver before you that you would have, did you go to local shows growing up, or what was the introduction for you?
I knew of local shows. I didn't really go to them. I wasn't really sheltered. Like, we could ride our BMXs across town and like ride them up and down a 100-foot ravine. Like, we had that kind of freedom. But when it came to, like, I don't know if my parents would let me go to a show.
Yeah.
Like, if it was a daytime thing at a high school, absolutely. Like, I would see that. And I did see that. And, we loved rock and roll. We loved AC/DC and all the whatever at the time. And I don't know what my first introduction to like punk songs were. Like, Vacation definitely would have been one.
Yeah.
With the Ramones. Probably the first time I heard pop punk. But I do remember this guy in our neighborhood with a mohawk was walking by one day, and me and my friends, we were just little kids, and we're like, fuck, that guy must be such a badass. Like, what do you think that guy does? Like, and one of my friends' brothers was friends with him, and he's like, he's got a punk band. And they we listened to Motley Crue, and Motley Crue's awesome, but like all of the stuff that comes with that, it was sort of like, you're a kid, you're trying to figure out what you like and whatever. And this guy, apparently his band, he was like, yeah, they have a song called Ingredients of Gum, and they just play music and read the ingredients from a gum wrapper. And we were like, that's fucking awesome. So I think, like, growing up, that spirit was already there, but there was no, I didn't really have there were like little introductions to it here and there. Like, my brother had a tape with some Circle Jerks acoustic song, some of their acoustic songs on it, and this punk show from CITR, and had been recorded. And I listened to that, and it was kind of cool. And then I think that, I was kind of playing with this band with my cousin, and we were like all over the place. Like, Mr. Bungle, like playing everything. Like, he was the musicianship influence for me. Like, I was 10 years younger than him, and I was just like, well, I'm crazy and I can play guitar. Okay. So we did that for a little while, and then I met the band Sparkmarker, or I saw them, and I loved it. Like I saw them at the Nappy Dugout in Vancouver, and I was kind of like, I kind of want to do something simpler with music. Like there were a lot of bands that like took themselves serious, and then I saw this band, I'm like, that band could take themselves serious. Like they kind of did, but they were not really. They did in the right ways. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I just kind of followed them. And like I read this, an article in Discorder where they were talking about how they went to take New York, but New York took them. And I was like, they fucking went and played in New York? It's funny saying that now that I live here, but it's like
totally
just the thought of like starting a punk band and like going to New York. And they were sort of like a quicksand sort of hardcore band.
Yeah.
Like they were sort of like that, but they were awesome. And there were a bunch of bands that I had kind of discovered. Like I knew about this band 10 Feet Tall that would like put peanut butter on themselves and Captain Crunch at their shows, and that sounded cool. And then Brand New Unit was probably the first band that I saw that I like loved. And Gabe played drums in Brand New Unit. He didn't when I first saw them, but just Jinx's guitar playing, it was like Dag Nasty kind of styled shit and just fast downstrokes and sort of somewhere between punk and hardcore. And I was like, all right, this is kind of what we have to do. Like,
yeah.
I still love like the indie rock. And like, if you listen to the first Gob EP, it's got a lot of those like those dissonant kind of chords and stuff. And there's a little bit of that in Too Late No Friends kind of buried in there. Yeah. But we had, once we started touring and playing shows, we were playing with harder and faster bands. And that was sort of the influence. And all of that stuff like Bad Religion and No Effects and all these bands were starting to get big. And so we were sort of competing with all of those bands and getting faster and harder, I guess, kind of.
Amazing. All right. Well, Tom, let's leave it here for the You're Too Cool episode. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week.
Awesome.